Good morning, everybody in London, Lisbon, and Dublin. Good afternoon to everybody pretty much everywhere else. My name is Simon Hansen, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer here at Hoist Group. I'm going to be your host this morning. And welcome to our Hoist dashboard training session. Today we're going to look at entertainment insights. And we're going to look specifically how the Hoist dashboard can help you not only manage, but also steer your business and decision making when it comes to the entertainment services provided by your hotel. For those of you who attended the Wi-Fi Insights session yesterday, and I see some familiar names just looking at the top of the list, Akinyemi, Andualem, Paolo, Jerine, Ruben, welcome back. And to the others I've missed, welcome back to you as well. But for those who have joined us for the first time, or more importantly, for those who were on the call yesterday, yes, there will be some overlap with some of the features and functionality. Please bear with me because there are a good number of people who are joining for the first time. And before I jump into the dashboard demonstration itself, I just want to quickly review with you a few factors that are impacting the industry at the moment. So I'm going to share my screen and let me expand on the PowerPoint, and I will ask you in a second to check that you can see what I am sharing. And I'm doing that right now. So tell me if you can see my screen, please.
Yes, Simon, it's all okay. You can go ahead.
Okay, great. So this session will last about 20 minutes of my presentation. We'll go into a live demo in a few moments' time. And there is the opportunity at the end of the session to ask questions about the service and about the dashboard, and indeed about Hoist Group. And if you've got a question, there is, if you look on your taskbar in the Zoom window, there is a QA function or Q&A function. So just type your questions into the Q&A function, and we will review those at the end of this segment. Okay, great. So the fundamental question, I guess, when it comes to entertainment is hotel provided entertainment still relevant in the age of Netflix? And whilst we sort of cogitate over this, let's look at what the market is saying. I'm going to share some quotes and some survey outputs with you. The first quote was made by me last night, sat at my desk in preparation for this morning's session. And although I probably won't win a Pulitzer Prize for journalistic insight, I think there is probably a lot of truth in what I'm saying here. You know, life is getting harder when it comes to hotels providing guest room entertainment. Just a few years ago, it was relatively simple. Choose lots of channels, get a nice big TV, pop it on the wall, and hey presto, that's my guest entertainment solution provided. Add some internet to that, and we add another layer. But the market has changed dramatically, and what has changed is the advent of digitization, an explosion in the amount of content that's created and the channels through which that content is distributed. And in most countries, at least, the availability of cheap and plentiful high-capacity bandwidth. And this has fundamentally changed the playing field. And I'm not alone in this thinking. Last year, there was a survey conducted into hotel technology trends in the hospitality industry. Some interesting takeouts from this excerpt from the survey. Takeout number one is that they're claiming that the television and radio are taking a backseat. People are expecting new forms of entertainment and methods of entertainment. And the most interesting fact and figure from this particular quote is that, according to the survey, 81% of respondents, that's more than 3/4, wanted to access streaming video content in the hotel room. And that shows a dramatic shift away from just the provision of traditional means of guest room entertainment. And just last month, I think it came out on the 28th of October, the guys at Hotel Tech Report went one step further. They say that actually their surveys show that guests don't like to download apps that they will use once. They are used to scanning QR codes or pairing devices over Bluetooth or whatever medium it is to get access to the facilities on offer at the hotel. And actually there is an upside for this for hotels as well, as it means less investment required and more satisfaction for the guests. So that would seem to be, a win-win. Should we just focus on Netflix? Probably not. As we all know, and we probably all subscribe to, there are dozens of different streaming options available and new ones popping up all the time. So what this becomes really is a value judgment to be made by each hotel to decide in turn, based on its profile and its guest mix, whether it wants to be a content provider or a content facilitator or both. And honestly, there's no right or wrong generic answer to this question. It's about what works for you and, more importantly, for your guests. And frankly, there is only one way to answer this question scientifically, and that is with data. And we at Hoist Group provide that data through the Hoist dashboard. So I'm just going to change screens now, and I'm going to stop presenting that PowerPoint, and I am going to go over to a live demo of the Hoist dashboard. Excuse me a second whilst I just facilitate that. Here we go. Okay, so stop share and add a new share. Matt, can you confirm that you can see the dashboard login page?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, great. So as you can see, Hoist Dashboard is a web tool that you can access from literally anywhere and from any device. It's username and password protected, and you can assign specific access rights to individual users, meaning front of house get one view of dashboard and can interrogate one area of dashboard, finance maybe gets another, IT another, and general management perhaps sees everything. And what's more, and this is the really important part, is that dashboard is fully customizable. What I'm going to do now is, well, I've got an option here of add all widgets or add widget. And I'm going to select to add widget. And this opens up the pool of widgets that is available to you. There are a lot of them, and we'll go into them in more detail in a second. And you can filter the widgets by the category. We offer 3 different categories as a default. We have business, we have guest, and we have service widgets. And also over here on the right-hand side of the screen, if you hover over the icon there, you'll see that we can also build, extract, and even schedule reports. And we'll come on to that in more detail in a little bit later on in this presentation. In terms of the widgets themselves, obviously there are lots of them here. I'm a super user within the organization. Your widgets would be defined by the products and services you take from Hoist Group and any third-party interfaces that you take. So if you're a Hoist Fusion TV customer, you would get the relevant icon, the relevant widgets and reports to that service. If you're a PMS customer, you get the PMS customer reports and widgets, and you wouldn't see the others. You wouldn't get PMS if you're a TV customer, unless you took PMS from us. Okay. So today's discussion covers entertainment insights. So let's choose the relevant widgets for the purpose of this session. And what we're going to choose here is caster TV status, TV and radio channel status, TV and radio channel usage, network device status. Let's do one more. Let's do caster TV usage. You see I've clicked on, I think it's 5 there. And to build my personalized dashboard, once I've selected them, I click on return to dashboard, and up pops what we call the simplified view. All the widgets here are drag and droppable. You can pin them to hold them in the right place. You can change the order of them. You can really define a look and feel that works for you as the person in the hotel, you know, looking at this on a daily basis, or indeed getting alerts on it on a proactive basis, more of which I'll come on to in a minute. You'll also notice that the simplified view widgets are color coded. The color coding is green for all systems go, is red for when there is an issue on your property with an aspect of the service or the network or the performance. And what defines the color coding is a threshold. And the way you create a threshold is you go into the alert, or you go into edit alert, and you'll see that you have a number of drop-down qualifiers here. You also have the ability to add in an alphanumeric input, and that will set the parameters that you wish your business to run in. And anything that breaks those parameters, i.e. exceeds or goes below the threshold, will trigger potentially an alert and will certainly appear on your overview here within your personalized dashboard. Let's just look at alerts as an extension of this. We've got the qualifier, we've got the alphanumeric value. If you click on enable threshold alert, what happens here is you can define a time period, and more importantly, you can also define a distribution list, including you as a default, but you can add email addresses of other people, heads of department, as an example, front of house, general management, so that when a service issue occurs or a threshold is broken, there is an automatic notification to that distribution list, proactively telling you that something is wrong in room 204, the TV has gone down for some reason, meaning you can take room 204 out of circulation in your PMS, and implying that you don't check in a guest to a room where a TV set is not working. These are very important tools that we provide to you, and this is one way in which Hoist Dashboard can really make a difference. We will go into more detail tomorrow at 11 o'clock London, 12 o'clock CET in Luigi Cardillo's training session, where he's going to look at networks and support and network management. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on the network device status today, other than to say, please do join us tomorrow. And then finally here, there are 12 devices down on this network. What we do within Hoist Dashboard, you go from the simplified view to the advanced view, and you can actually get an overview to immediately tell you that there are 2 TVs out of 140 down and 10 Chromecast devices out of 140. If you want to find out which room that's in, you just click on the actual device itself. It'll bring up an overview of your hotel and which device is in which room. In this instance, the TVs. You can filter in the search bar by down, and I can see instantaneously that the TV in room 139 is down. Therefore, I take 139 out of circulation until I have fixed that TV, or you've gotten support, or whatever it is that is required to remediate it. But much more detail on that tomorrow in Luigi's session. Let's focus on the other 4 widgets at the moment. I'm pleased to say that all of them are operating green, which shows a healthy system. Just for the record, we are working on a dashboard demo site here. This is not a real live environment, although the data coming out of it is real and live, but it is aggregated and anonymized to comply with our confidentiality and our GDPR requirements. Okay. So let's get back to answering some of the fundamental questions that we posed, or that I posed as part of the slideshow at the beginning. And the question number 1 really is the TV in the room now a useless, expensive piece of junk that, just as some commentators would have us believe? Well, I would say this: instead of guesswork, use Hoist Dashboard to give you the data and then make your own informed decisions. And the first widget we are going to look into is TV and radio channels usage. You can already see that there is high usage in this property. And if I click on the advanced view, I get more data. And I can see the split in usage between television here and radio here. Obviously, television is very high, radio is very low in this demo hotel. And if I click on the enlarged view, I get even more data still. It reconfirms that point. Lots of TV usage in this Norwegian hotel. It must be the weather. No, I'm only kidding to our friends in Norway. But more importantly, it also tells me, if the channels are tagged properly, what kind of content is consumed the most. And this can help you, as the hotelier, shape your purchasing decisions. And I can go into more detail on this than a 24-hour view within the reports function that I highlighted a few moments ago. And we're going to do that right now. So what I do here is I click on the reports. As I'm a new user, well, there are predetermined reports already set up, but I can click on new reports. And new reports can be built from scratch. Please contact your local Hoist office for this, or they can be taken and modified from an existing template. And there is a whole range of templates available here. We're talking about TV usage, so let's type that into the search bar, and up pop the 4 existing reports that qualify for TV usage. We're not going to look at Marriott TV usage, that's obviously private to them. Let's click on the TV usage generic report function here. And the first thing you'll see is that I can modify the date range. By default, it's set for yesterday, but if I want to change it to the last 30 days, no problem at all. There are options to put specific date ranges in. And to that, I can add a hotel. Again, I won't open this hotel. I will open a report I took earlier this morning into Excel with anonymized data and show you what can be the extract of that. I'll do that in a second. There are other filters here in terms of brand group. There are other filters in terms of geography that you can specify within your report. But most importantly, and this is the area that you may well need help from your local Hoist team, is to select the relevant data fields. And there are lots to choose from. And you'll see already in this default report that there are many of them there. There are obvious ones here, like what the room number is. That means you can start to correlate individual guest preferences, or the channel usage is here, total time spent on it, total time spent watching, and even language selection. You know, this starts to become sort of basic business intelligence on, actually, I don't have enough German channels. There's a lot of German usage in my hotel in Norway. I get a lot of German guests. I probably need to reduce the number of Norwegian channels, but increase the number of German channels, and so on and so forth. And you can choose the format in which the report is exported to you. This particular report only has one option with Excel, but most of the reports that you'll find in the tool have a number of options. It could be Excel, it could be in a text format, or indeed in a PDF format. We also have the ability to enable scheduling of reports, okay? And this can be done anything from daily through to yearly. And you can even define what time of the day you want that report to be sent to for the night audit purpose, or for other purposes, general management meetings, whatever it may be. And again, just like the alerts function, you can add a distribution list to these reports, again, to your heads of departments or whoever it may be, who's relevant to receive these reports. And once you've built your report, you can save on it. And if you've scheduled it on a weekly basis, at 6 o'clock in the morning, every week on the anniversary at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's all you need to do. You will receive your reports scheduled, sent to your distribution list. You can also create reports for right here, right now. And what you just do there is click the export button, and it will take a report for the data fields that you've selected and the time periods that you've selected, and it will give you that information in pretty much real time. So it is a very, very powerful tool. Let me show you the output of this report. I need to change screens one more time. Please bear with me on this. Let's share another screen. And here is the output of that particular TV usage report. Can you see my screen, Matt?
Yes, correct. I can see your screen.
You've got some pretty, what's the word, predictable stuff here. You've got TV channel usage, the number of times it was accessed. You've got the number of hours that those channels were, the number of hours that those channels were watched for. This is an interesting one, TV menu usage. What this is saying is, within the Fusion TV system, we can, or you as the hotel, can actually track where people are looking at. Now, within the Hoist Fusion TV platform, there is a unified content management tool. You can adapt how the look and feel, and you can also send messages to the TV screen. So if people are being channeled by the system into specific areas, this creates an opportunity for you as the hotel to put messages or promotions or content on there. And you can start to manage and understand the impact of this by correlating this data with other financial data that you'll hold by tagging those promotions. You can also see how many hours people spend on the different TV menus. Should you embed, a big question at the moment, should I embed apps within my TV? Well, actually what it's saying here for this hotel is that the YouTube app is accessed a little bit, but the main TV itself is accessed much more. It's giving you data that's going to help your investment decisions potentially going forward. Okay. Again, we are going to schedule a separate report session at the end of these training sessions to really dig into more detail on this. This is really just to give you, a flavor of what the sort of data level is that you can extract. Let me go back now to the demo, and I will carry on from where we were then. Okay, again, Matt, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see the dashboard.
Fantastic. So let's go back to the widgets. To go back to the widgets, you just click on the Access Widget function, and you'll notice that I come back to the page defined exactly as I left it. So if you've got a preferred setup for your page, when you go in and out, it'll always come back to your preferred setup. And by the way, if you ever want to get rid of a widget and remove it, all you do is go to the Remove Widget drop down on the 3 dots there, and that widget is no longer part of your selection. You can add it again by going back to Manage Widgets, reselecting it, and returning to the dashboard. So let's conclude on this question about TV usage. Well, we established that TV is not a hunk of junk in the room. It plays an important role in the guest service offering in this particular hotel. Why? Because there's huge usage on it. Radio, on the other hand, is not used on the TV in this particular hotel, but then again, it doesn't typically come as an extra cost in most countries. So the logical conclusion here is probably to retain both TV and radio as services and maintain TVs in the room. And if we go to the TV and radio channel status widget, we see that there is a channel down, but it's operating within the thresholds that I, as the hotelier, have set. And if I go to the widget drill down, which is a shortcut, if you like, to the full view, I can see the status of the channels actually in my room. And if in my hotel. And if I expand the view there, I can quickly see that it's TV2 Humour. It's an entertainment channel in Norwegian that is down. With that, armed with that information, I can now go to my service provider, Hoist Group as this may be, or my content provider, could also be Hoist Group, could be a third party, and really interrogate as to why the channel is down across my hotel. Okay, let's return to the dashboard. The next question I wanted to address is, should I invest in streaming services, in Caster TV over Chromecast? And this is an industry trend that is really growing in momentum at the moment. Certainly the millennial guests amongst us tend to love this service. But like always, there is an owner here that I need to convince. How can I convince that owner that this is a service worth investing in? And again, the answer lies in the data provided by Hoist Dashboard. If I go to the Caster TV widget here, I can see that 6% of my rooms with Caster TV today are using the service. Let's assume that this is a trial within a hotel where some of the rooms have been converted to Caster TV on top of the TV platform is there. And really the question being posed here is, do I expand that service to all of my rooms? Okay. If I click on the enlarged view, again, I can interrogate much more data here. What I can start to see is that actually the average duration per device is about 2¼ hours, which just happens to be about the length of a typical movie. And if I look at the app's caster graph here, I can see the platforms that people are casting to my TV. I can also see the average duration of sessions. The average duration of sessions is well over an hour. So from this data, and also from the reports that I showed you a moment ago, I can start to extract information and extrapolate them over time to present a clear picture to my management. In this case, during COVID-19, 5% of the rooms are using casting for more than 2 hours a day. This is providing value, I would say. Or maybe I prove the opposite. Maybe I go to them and say, actually, Caster TV is not something that we should invest in. Or maybe it is. It's not for me to tell you, it's for us to provide you with that data. And it's for you as the hotelier to make the relevant choices as to whether this is a good investment to your guest profile or not. But without that data, and without Hoist Dashboard, it's going to be potentially difficult for you to understand what's really going on in your hotel. And finally, if we go to the Caster TV status widget, I can see immediately that there's something wrong. There are 10 devices down. This correlates to the 10 out of the 140 in the network device status that I showed you earlier. Okay, but I want to know more data on this. So again, what we do here is that we go to the advanced view. And in the advanced view, you pop up a very interesting additional service. If I hover over the icons here, I can see that 42 of my rooms have an excellent signal strength for video streaming. 82% are adequate. 6% are a bit iffy. Sorry, not 82%, 82 rooms. 6 rooms are a little bit iffy and probably need something done about it. And 10 rooms, the Chromecast device is not getting any internet connectivity whatsoever. So in effect, what we've done here is through the Caster TV Chromecast device is we found a way of testing Wi-Fi signal strength in that particular part of the room. So in essence, what we're doing here again is triangulating data. And when it comes to investing in Caster TV or not, this decision can be taken from multiple data points. Usage is over here is absolutely one of them. Okay. But thanks to this widget, it's also clear that there's probably an improvement to be made in the hotel Wi-Fi coverage, or indeed a wired connection to the Chromecast device, to ensure the success of the service. So sure, you end up finding out that you maybe need to spend a little bit more because you were planning to just do Chromecast, but actually you need to tinker with the Wi-Fi a little bit. But that's not really the point. The point here is about delivering a working service and your guest satisfaction. And what you've done before launching into this rollout is this, through the Hoist dashboard, you've discovered factors that would have inhibited the full success of the rollout. And you can now deal with them before this is launched as a service and before you market it to your guests, so that when they show up, they have a fantastic service up and running in their room. They love you for it and they reward you with return visits and maybe some nice TripAdvisor reviews. So to conclude, when it comes to guest service, to trends, to investment planning and decisions, and overall quality, we at Hoist Group feel very strongly that data truly is the new oil. And Dashboard gives you access to that data in a single consolidated place with the aim of just making your lives a lot easier. I'd like to thank you very much for your time.